Welcome to the Commissioner's Report. I'm your host, Tricia Pichette, and with me today is Commissioner Martha Sangtiago, who's going to speak with us today about the COVID-19 programs, financial relief programs that the Board of County Commissioners has in place. Welcome to the program, Commissioner.
Thank you so much for always having me on the program to share with our people things that's going on in Polk County.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, when you ran for commissioners, it was very clear to everyone that you really support small businesses.
Absolutely. Small businesses, they're very important for Polk County. And if you've heard this term, they're the backbone of our economy. And if it weren't for the things that we do for small businesses, our economy would not prosper as it has. And with the COVID-19 affecting small businesses, boy, we need to get them back on their feet as soon as possible. So that's my goal, definitely.
So what is the Polk Cares program?
Well, we were lucky enough, we meaning Polk County was lucky enough to get $126 million from the federal government, the CARES Act. So with that money, we meaning the commission had a decision to make how we were going to spend that money. And we decided to spend $40 million on small businesses to help businesses from 1 employee all the way up to 25 employees to get money to help them, however they needed the help, whether it was for their employees or for advertisement or for whatever. The money was needed by these businesses to help them.
Yeah. Now, the pandemic has been going on for a while now. Is it too late to apply? Can they still apply?
Absolutely not. Actually, I think we're a little bit over 2 weeks when we opened the CARES Act and the funding for the CARES Act. And to be honest with you, when we opened it up, we had certain criteria to meet. And we noticed that not as many businesses were applying for this grant. And I think one of the criteria that deterred businesses was the PPP. If they received the PPP prior to applying for the Polk County CARES Act, then they couldn't apply. And we realized, the PPP took probably care of a certain amount of things for the businesses. But there were a lot of issues they were still dealing with. So just last Friday, we lifted the PPP requirement. In other words, if you receive PPP, it's okay. You could still apply for this. And we've seen a great amount of people applying for it. So yes, until the money runs out, Trish, we want people to apply for it. Once it runs out or until the county commissioner sets a deadline, people can apply for it. I want small businesses to apply for this.
So if they have applied and been turned down for the PPP reason, apply again?
I'm not sure if it's to apply again or call the number to open up their application.
Oh, okay.
Or probably from what I've heard, is that they're going to look at those that have applied and have been issued money, and what they'll do is they'll reissue these people the extra amount of money that we had. For example, if you're a sole proprietor, we issued $1,000 then. Now it's $2,000. So if you had applied, Trish, and you got the $1,000, another check will be coming to you for $1,000. Wow. But if you're just applying now, you will apply for the $2,000. So it makes it equitable for everybody. Yeah. But this money is important to help our small businesses get back on their feet. So.
Now, what are some of the other amounts that businesses can?
If you're a sole proprietor, it's what we call a one-person business. You get $2,000. If you have a business of 2 to 9 employees, you get $5,000. And if you're a business of 10 to 25 employees, you get $10,000. Now, I don't know about you, but of course, they probably need much more than that. But I always say every little bit helps.
Absolutely.
And we want to make sure we get this money to them as soon as possible. Yeah.
Now, who qualifies for this?
Well, it's anybody that has been negatively impacted by COVID. Mm-hmm. what business hasn't? Small business hasn't. I know there are a lot of businesses that during this time have prospered, like any time there's crisis, some prosper, some don't. But small businesses where they've had to close their doors, for example, beauty salon, hairdressers, one person contractor, any kind of small business. So if you're one person, and you've been negatively impacted, or if your business has been negatively impacted, that means you've lost salary, you've had to furlough employees because they can't work. Restaurants basically had to close they closed their doors, not basically closed, they closed their doors except for the carry out. But of course everything just went down. So anybody that has been negatively impacted by COVID. And this is important because their information is going to help the commission with the audit that's going to come for this, because it's federal money. So definitely we will have an audit, and we want to make sure that everything we give out to the public is because they've been affected by COVID.
Now, you used a great example of a restaurant. If a restaurant stays open and they're giving carry-out orders or delivery orders, that doesn't make up for the fact that there's no one sitting in the seats in the restaurant.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to be closed to be negatively impacted.
If you're negatively, that means if you've lost income. And I use that example, they maintained their operations for carry-out, but in no way is that carry-out equal to people coming into the restaurants and sitting down and ordering and things like that. That just helped them probably pay the electrical lights or something, and they didn't go totally under. And these were restaurants that were able to do this. That doesn't mean there are restaurants that were able to do this, and that's the important thing to know. So, it's all on an individual basis, and that's why we have people that help if anybody has questions about, do I qualify, do I not qualify? We have people on standby at the call center to help. Our goal is to get the money to the people so they can open up their businesses or help the businesses run and provide the assistance that they need.
One of the things that is really admirable about this whole process was that it was set up with expediency in mind.
Absolutely.
It's not a question of you apply for it and maybe 3 or 4 months. Expediency was in mind when this was set up.
Absolutely. Our goal, and I say the commission's goal was to get this money to the hands of the people that need it the most, fast.
Yeah.
We didn't want, when we initially came up with the criteria, we did not want the documents to hold anybody up. What we wanted to do was create it as simple as possible, and just take care of the immediate need. Now get these people back on their feet so that they can keep moving forward. That's so important for our county.
Well, if it's okay with you, can we talk about some of the nuts and bolts? What is some of the documentation that is required?
Well, W-9, of course, is required, a photo ID. And what I'm telling you, I know that this is fast, and if those that are hearing me, you can always go to the website. In fact, you could just put Polk County CARES Act 2020. It'll take you straight to the place to apply, and also the criteria. But like the W-9, the photo ID, of course, a copy of a business registration, your IRS form 941, and I'm reading it because I don't memorize all the stuff, or your S3 summary, an estimate of your company's monthly expenses. And if you have any problems with these documentations, our people are on standby to help you. We want to make this very simple. I've heard from lots of people that tell me the process is very simple. Excellent. And once they apply, and if they're missing a document, or they uploaded the wrong document, the people on standby, our employees, are so helpful to help them get what they need. So it's an easy process, and we need these documentations for our audit. We want to make sure people have this on hand. In fact, I was saying get these documentations even before this opened up so that you could expedite the process a whole lot. So,
yeah. So, I mean, I think it's also important to say to the people who are watching that remember the small businesses when things get better, when we get back on our feet, when we're able to go out and about and frequent businesses again. Don't forget the local businesses, the small business.
Well, what a great message to give. And let me just say, I've taken part of that already. I have not wasted time. Like I said, I have family members that have small businesses, so I know what they went through. And the minute that we started reopening Polk and gradually, safely, reopening Polk, I was one of the ones that started to help the small businesses. And I want to say thank you to all our citizens of Polk County, because they have the small businesses in mind. And they do support our small businesses. So, I sincerely appreciate that. But yes, go out and support them. Buy what you need and buy what you don't need, but support them absolutely. So,
well, thank you so much for joining us and for your commitment to our residents and to their businesses.
Well, and I'll end it with this. When our people prosper, and I always say this, when our people prosper, we all prosper. When small businesses prosper, we all prosper, because they're very important for our economy. And the money stays here locally, which is what we need for all of us to prosper. So this is very dear to me. And I want to continue to do everything I possibly can to get the businesses back up and running.
Well, thank you very much for your work and for joining us today. And thank you for watching another edition of the Commissioner's Report.